Good morning. Good morning, Julie and Bob and Joy Lynn. Good morning, everyone. And Irma, Bonnie and Jill and Cheryl, Sheila and Jeffrey, Christopher. So many regulars tuning in at 6 a.m. Pacific time, and still we're arriving. Thank you, everyone, for coming to our daily devotional. And thank you if you're joining later in the day. As one of our friends wrote and said to me, I do the devotional at a more civilized time. And I thought that was humorous. Whatever time we practice is the correct time, so I'm glad you're here whatever time you come. I'm Edward Fillion, and I am sharing with you a journey through the year using 365 Science of Mind, a book of daily devotionals by Ernest Holmes. Now, these are very similar to the daily guides that appear in our Science of Mind magazine. And it's a great companion practice to use the Science of Mind magazine at the end of the day, for example, and do the same sort of practice that we are doing in the morning. The guides in the Science of Mind magazine are just wonderful, and they're written by different teachers. And the magazine itself is filled up with inspiration and questions and answers about spirituality and regular articles, just beautifully done. Now, today's reading on February 24th is I Open Myself to Greater Love. And then each of these has a scriptural reading. And so I make the habit of reading the verses around the quote to get a sense of what it's about. And today's scriptural reading is quite famous, even beyond the Christian world, because words from this particular chapter are frequently used in wedding ceremonies. It's from 1 Corinthians 13. It says, though I speak with the tongues of men. So I want to encourage you to go and look for the inclusive New Testament by Priests for Equality. It's a beautiful rendition of the New Testament in contemporary language using gender-inclusive terminology. I couldn't find my copy this morning to read their rendition of it, so we will adjust it on the fly. Though I speak like humans or like angels, and I have not charity, I become as sounding brass or a tinkling cymbal. Now, charity over here, this is the King James Version, I'm guessing. That word charity in this verse is often translated as love. And I like using the word charity because it's a larger concept of loving kindness, of self-givingness, empathy, compassion, givingness. It's important to know that reading this chapter that the word love here is not necessarily only about partnership or romantic love. It's about something larger, something natural that everyone has, that when we don't have it, and by have it I mean express it, we experience a shutting down of our systems, our spiritual systems. So it's not something that is only present when we have a partner or when we're in a relationship. It is something that we have and have the freedom to develop and express. And here's what I love about it. We didn't make this ability in us. It exists. Ours is just to use it and to express it. This candle is not cooperating with me this morning. So I'm going to read the rest of the chapter for you. If I speak like people or like angels, but I do not have love, I'm only a ringing gong or a clanging cymbal. Now, this makes me think of something that I learned reading uh, from works of the Dalai Lama. I said, um, if you take truth and you remove loving kindness, you remove love from it, what does it become? If you take service, volunteering, and you remove loving kindness or you remove love from it, what does it become? I'm paraphrasing. If you take love out of anything, remove it from the equation, take loving kindness out, what does it become? If you take social activism and you remove charity from it, loving kindness, what does it become? And so on. That's really a wonderful consideration for our reading today. Even if I have the gift of prophecy and I can understand all the mysteries of life and all knowledge, and even if I have absolute faith, so much so that I can move mountains, but I do not have love, I am nothing. Even if I give all I possess to the poor, but I have not love, I get nothing. And here is the famous part that is often included in wedding ceremonies. So it's relating it now to romantic love, but let's relate it to the larger picture of life. Love is patient. Loving kindness, you can say. Love is kind. Love does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It is not rude, and it is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no account of wrongdoing. Love takes no pleasure in what is wrong, but rejoices in what is right. It bears all things and believes all things and hopes all things and endures all things. And then I'm going to skip to the last verse in the chapter. And now we have these three, faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love. Okay. So love is more than a sentiment, Dr. Holmes writes. It is a need, a hunger, a thirst that is perfectly natural. And anyone who thinks they can live and be happy without it does not know what they are talking about. Psychologically, emotionally, or spiritually, love is the beginning and the end, the impulse in nature that cannot be denied. Let us think back beyond the individual to the source of all life. I believe that the whole universe is the givingness of the creative spirit to the delight of its own being, into the creation that is itself in the creation. Love is the principle of life, for it is the nature of everything to give. Only the one who loves so much that there is no longer any room for hate will ever arrive at the place where, if there may be hate, they will never know it. Now, there's something to contemplate. As we become familiar with the nature of the divine within us, it is like a light, like this candle that when lit, it presses out into expression and the darkness disappears in the room. So there's a lot going on in the world, and it wants attention, of course. And what I want to make sure I do is that I light my candle in my soul and my mind and my heart every single day to make sure that I'm pressing out into the world the expression of what I know to be true, so that I do not let the urgency and the difficulties crowd into my being so much so that I become incompetent to be in the world. So that I don't become terrified, don't become stressed out, don't become lost, because I've got to be in the world. I have things to attend to, opinions to express, duties to fulfill. So that's what our duty, mine is, to every single day, to tune into the living Spirit Almighty and let its light shine so brightly as love that as I move through the world, I am made capable through it, by it, to do, be, to understand, to reflect, and to be guided. So join me just this moment to let all things be. Knowing that everything that we can possibly imagine that needs to be attended to will be waiting for us after this moment of devotion. And so I dedicate this time to my conscious recognition of the mind that creates all, in the form of love today, an ever-present power, an ever-present creative power, an ever-present freedom and magnificence in me today, bright, present, felt, alive. In us today, bright, present, felt, alive. And so I keep on breathing into this awareness of this light within the living Spirit, feeling even my physical body respond to the breath and to the release, feeling even my jaw, my mouth, and most importantly, my mind and my soul responding to the brightness of this idea, the living Spirit Almighty within, everywhere present, permanent, alive, bright. And so every single task that comes my way today, I infuse it with the understanding of the living presence in me as charity, as loving kindness. Every task that comes my way to be fulfilled, every opinion that rises in me to be formed, every word I speak, I let each of these be a conveyor of the living, bright, alive presence of the living Spirit. I bring to the world my confidence in Spirit. I bring to my friends in my life my compassionate understanding. I bring into expression my brave heart. And that heart is centered in that which is permanently present, the living Spirit Almighty, the mind that creates. And according to its law, then, something wonderful happens through me. I am set on the right track, and I'm equipped from within to be present, to see clearly, to understand wisely, and to act where I need to. In deepest gratitude for this awareness and celebrating the spiritual laws of the universe, I release this moment of prayer by saying, and so it is. I thank you very much for being here with me this morning and to join me in connecting consciously to the power that love is. Now, if you are needing additional support or if you're feeling disturbed or incomplete, please use our resources in the World Ministry of Prayer. I see even some of our trained prayer practitioners join us this morning. I know we are all around. Sometimes I can't quite get to a heart of peace by myself if the world is disturbing me, or my body is disturbing me, or my friends are disturbing me. And so I need assistance. I need to partner. And that's the purpose of spiritual community. And today, in the world of technology, spiritual community, it's wide and deep and broad. And so you can reach out to the spiritual community of the World Ministry of Prayer and let them partner with you. And what they will do is hear your request. And then through prayer, they will tell you the truth of your being in no uncertain terms. You can do it by email, you can do it through the online chat function, or you can even make a phone call to them. Thank you for helping me share this time of prayer and helping the network of expressed love widen. It means a lot to me that you share, and I thank you for your comments. And I'm going to sit for a moment now in quietness, in the 30-degree cold, with no agenda, watching my own awareness. And I invite you to do the same thing. And then when you are done sitting, when I'm done sitting, I will get up and I will then engage in the world from a different awareness, one of peace and love. Have a blessed day.